Welcome to CaCo Talks, the weekly podcast where conversations about life, hot topics, mental health, and more take center stage. We are your hosts, Catelyn and Courtney Geiger.
Together, we explore thought-provoking discussions with an ambient vibe that inspires open and honest dialogue. So sit back, relax, and join us for some insightful conversation that will leave you feeling informed and inspired.
Hi guys, welcome back to another episode. We are excited tonight to share some Reddit posts that we found. So we're going to just jump on into it.
All right, you want to read the first one? You got the list, so.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead. So I'll just go ahead and read them all, just so it's easier, but. All right, so this one's called, Am I the Asshole for Ordering Food when my children are asleep so I don't have to share? Occasionally, when my 4 children go to bed, I'll order myself a little something for Uber Eats or DoorDash after a hard day so I don't have to share with the kiddos. Usually, since I'm always the first one to wake up, I'll put the packing beside the inside trash can and take it out to the outdoor trash can in the morning. My children ended up waking up first that morning and seeing the takeout food packaging and ended up waking me up asking me what I ate and if they could have some. I told them there was none left and I ate it all last night. Thought that would be the end of it. But after I dropped them off at their dad's for the week, my children stay at their dad's house 1 week out of the month rather than doing weekends. My children's father ended up spamming my phone with text messages, accusing me of misappropriating my children's funds he sends every month. My children's father gave me $100 for each child a month, which is $400 a month, which when it comes to it, it isn't much, but I'm fine with it because he usually makes up with it by buying the children what they need when an issue arises. FYI, nothing is court ordered. I have a job as a daycare worker and use my own money. I make myself to buy Uber Eats / DoorDash food. He also accused me of being a bad mother because I rather order food for just myself without thinking of my children who were with me, I guess, at the time, and that I should have just waited until they were with him for the night. I had a really bad day that day and just wanted to do something to cheer myself up, and sometimes food does the trick for me. If I were to order something for everyone in the house, it would have cost a lot more maybe of money that I wasn't interested in spending. And if I were to share, by the time my food got back to me, it would have just been the food wrapper. So do you think I'm the asshole?
Basically for just like not sharing your food with your kids because you don't want to like.
Yeah. Because you don't want to share.
I don't think that's no, there's worse asshole things to do. I think as a parent, I think a lot of times we really genuinely think that, or there's a narrative out there that parents are like all giving. They give every last thing they possibly. It's like parents should be 100% self-sacrificing. And the truth is, humans are the only species that do that because gorillas will be damned if their child like eats and they don't. You know what I mean? So,
fact. And I think too that like that is her, she had a bad day, that was her moment to be to herself, and that's okay. Like even like me personally, if I were to pay child support to whoever, I would want, in order for you to be a good parent, I think you have to first take care of yourself first, and make sure you're in the mental space, financial space, and all of the other spaces, I guess, to be a present parent, right? And so if you want to go get yourself some DoorDash and eat it in front of your kids and they don't get any, I think that's okay. You know what I mean? Now, like all the time, if your kid's like hungry, no, but like if you made dinner and you want to get yourself something else, that's okay. I don't think there's a problem with that.
Yeah.
So for this guy to be accusing her of being a bad mom just because she decided to get a snack and then she waited for the kids to be asleep, they just so happened to find the trash. First of all, why are you going to the trash, Mr. Sir? Huh?
I agree.
But yeah, you're not the asshole.
I don't think that's the worst asshole.
No way, shape, or form.
I mean, I can't tell you how many times I would like come downstairs and people be eating and I'd be like, oh.
And my mom was the type of mom that was like, you know, you cook, you eat what I cook. If you don't want to, you starve, period. So if she went out and got something, you were lucky if you got the freaking invite to place an order, okay?
Yeah.
Truly.
I mean, by the time I left the home, I was definitely, I was buying my own food every day anyway, so like, I was eating for myself, but
exactly. Oh, when we got jobs, it was a done deal, babes. You provide your own food.
I mean, she would cook, like, when she was cooking something that I, like, she, like, knew I would eat, she would ask me about it, but, like, really, most of it I was, like, on my own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or you had to find something else to eat in the house. Like, it wasn't like, you get one option, period.
I don't think that's the worst thing you can do. I mean, I think it would be more of an asshole thing if you took your child to a restaurant, you get something and the child does not get anything. That's more like, that's okay. Yeah, like, but if you know you're like sneaking kind of at night and you're trying to like make sure that the kid isn't really there to see it and you order it.
Yeah, and it's not like the kids aren't fed. You know what I mean?
If
like
the kids have eaten.
So it's not even like a matter of like kids starving or anything. It's just simply that she wanted a little snack after having a hard day. And now they're just like,
you're still a person, and it's like
that's extra.
You know.
And I think too, like as a kid, it's hard to understand where your parent is coming from because you've never had to be a parent. But when you get older and you see more about life, you're like, okay. That's
because there's gonna be situations as a kid, I think, that you're not gonna be able to, like, you're gonna be in that position to not necessarily, you'll have food and somebody else doesn't. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And as a child, a lot of those things are just already taken care of for you and by someone else. So it's not your burden, you know? When you're an adult, it becomes your burden. So it's like, if you want to get a little extra snack, then go get one, you know?
I don't think that's horrible.
Yeah. Okay, so that was that one. And she's definitely not the asshole. Keep doing you, boo. Get you another snack. Okay, so this one's, is would I be the asshole for imposing a diet on my wife if she wants to travel with me? Any comments from the title?
It's starting to give asshole, but let's hear it.
Okay. Friends have invited me to Japan to teach ESL, and I'm going to apply through the proper channels this upcoming autumn. I met and in fact exceeded the qualification, so I'm not worried about that. But I know Japan has a specific culture that looks down upon overweight people. I've already started to lose weight, 30 pounds down in 3 months, in preparation because I want to be accepted within their society desires. My wife can come with me. She can apply for a specific visa to live with spouse while they work. I want her to come with me. She wants to come with me, but I want her to lose weight with me. And I'm not sure if I'd be TA, I guess the asshole, for imposing a diet if she comes with me. To give an idea, I'm currently 240 pounds and 6 foot. 6 foot. She's 260 pounds and 5'9". I want to tell her if she can get to 200 pounds by Christmas, I'll let her go with me. I have some rare control. I have some rare control of the situation because I need to sign off on paperwork to allow her to declare me as a spouse in her application.
The part that about the she can't go unless I approve it kind of thing, that feels more asshole-ish. Like it's like you got enough rope.
I really hope she leaves him, to be honest. Yeah, and the fact that he would like hold that over her head or like keep her from doing her best, like if she doesn't care about the society norms of like living in Japan, then that's on her. You know what I mean?
I think.
Weight.
I hate to say this, but I think a big issue with like dynamics between men and women a lot of times is the idea of a like for men, weight, right? Like they equate that the same way women equate whether he has money or not in some ways. Like it's a marker for them. Or at least this is what Reddit tells me. So I think you should love your spouse no matter what their size is, because you're like, you apparently are in love with the person, not the weight. But so I personally would just be like, forget whatever social convention Japan has or whatever. Like, forget it. Like, my wife's coming with me, but so I think he has enough rope to hang himself, and I think he is probably closer to the asshole if he's really like, you have to change or else. Like,
yeah. But I do think too that like the norm in Japan is very like appearance based and thin as in, and all of those like beauty standards, you know what I mean? But if she is willing to accept that and deal with the repercussions of that, then that's on her. You can't force somebody to lose weight. And I feel like you as a significant other, like, are you really worried about your significant other? Or are you more worried about what you appear as? Do you really like being with that person? You know, like, you marry that person.
Yeah, that's what I say too.
Probably at what she is. And so now all of a sudden you want that to change because you're going to a different place? That's very strange.
That's what I say too. I think a lot of this feels like it's from he's more concerned about what they look like versus what they about the actual relationship and maintaining the relationship with his wife. So, because he's not a small guy either. You're 240 pounds. I mean,
right? And I mean, he lost 30, so he's 150.
Yeah. So, like, to be honest, he lost to 150.
He lost to. Hold on, let me go back up. He was initially 240. Okay, so he was initially 240. He's down to 210.
He went from what? Will you say that?
He was initially 240, but he's down to 210. And he's 6 foot.
I will also say that I think weight distribution on men is also a little bit different than on women. I'm not gonna lie, and I think also they are tall. If he's taller, he's 6 feet. So that might look differently. Not that necessarily has to be differently, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Weight is always odd for me, just because I'm gonna be honest. I've lived my life as a thin person, so I've always fit the societal norm. Like I've always played sports too, so I was always like athletically. I was always lean, so athletically built. So like, it is. I will admit my own limited understanding of what it feels like to be a person who does not fit society standards in weight class, because to me, I'm always like, screw it, I'm just gonna do whatever, you know what I mean? But I realize that I'm also closer to the standard, you know what I mean? So but regardless, I still say, I'm like, I think to me it's like, where's your concern here? What other people think or what you think about your wife?
Yeah,
like,
right.
It's just the truth, So.
Okay, so that person, the guy is definitely the asshole. I actually really feel bad for the wife. I really do. But okay. This one is called "Am I the Asshole for Firing My Bridesmaid for disclosing her diagnosis at my bachelorette party?" This one, let's get into it. I'm getting married in 3 weeks. I just had my bachelorette over Easter weekend. During a quiet moment, one of my bridesmaid took me aside and told me that about 3 months ago, she was diagnosed with fetal alcohol syndrome. Obviously, I asked her what that meant for her, and she started crying because she feels differently about her relationship with her mother. We met in elementary school, and she always had a learning disability, but she didn't know that there was a preventable cause. My other bridesmaid noticed her crying, and the evening ended up being about her. We skipped out on going to a bar in the limo I had hired because she was upset. I thought about it all day and ended up emailing her to tell her that she took away an important moment from my life. I feel bad about this happening to her, but even though she didn't always know, it's been going on for her whole life. If this was a recent thing she found out about, or if it was one kind of a deadly disease, I would feel differently. But she was sitting on this for months before bringing it up at any point that was supposed to be special to me. You only get one bachelorette, and mine was totally overshadowed. I felt hurt that she did that and told her that I didn't want her in my wedding if that's how she's going to treat me at a time where the focus was supposed to be something good in my life instead of something sad in hers. She should have waited a few more weeks until after the wedding if she wanted to hear this conversation. She's still invited to the wedding, but I don't want her to be a bridesmaid after this. I was just texting my cousin, my maid of honor, and she disagreed with me doing this. She said that it sucked that we didn't go to the bar, but this other friend has already paid for her dress, so I should just let her stay. My fiance supports my choice, but I wanted another opinion. Am I the asshole?
Well, her disease is something that can't be controlled, right? Her disease is something that can't be controlled.
Well, she has fetal alcohol syndrome, and so that's just like pretty much like mental delays because of like alcohol in the womb. So,
but I don't see how that affects a bridesmaid.
I don't either.
Like,
I'm not really understanding.
I'm like, okay. That's like if you told me, oh, I broke my leg. Like, I'll feel empathy for you. But, like, you gonna get in this wheelchair and come to the bachelorette party. Like, I don't understand.
Right? Like, you know what I mean? Mind you, already invited this person. You know they have learning disabilities. So the only reason why you're upset is because they took the attention off of you. And I think that that's slightly problematic, you know?
Is she like concerned about them having a good time or something? Because she can't drink?
Yeah. No, like she can drink. She's just mad that she like took the attention from her by like revealing that she had fetal alcohol syndrome at her.
I don't see how that's taking attention away from you, sweetheart.
Pretty much.
I don't really understand.
I don't
because I'm like, you act like she went to the, like, if she went up to the wedding and interrupted your vows and was like, by the way, I have fetal alcohol syndrome, that's taking attention away from you.
That would be like, that's interrupting.
But the bachelorette party where
like
they're
you're
already partying, you're halfway not supposed to remember what's happening, right?
Yeah. So I guess like she's upset because like they were supposed to take a limo and go like to the bars or whatever, and they didn't do that because like everybody was trying to like cater to her.
So she can't drink as much because they have to like.
No, they were just saying that she not that she can't drink as much. It's more of like she took the spotlight off the other girl. That's it.
This is a hard you're the asshole for me because I'm like, I don't see how that takes the spotlight. Like, then that, because what's the alternative? You're making her drink as much as you do?
Well, it's not about drinking. It's because like they had all these plans and they didn't do them because she announced it and everybody was trying to coddle her or like make sure she was okay.
Okay. But then again, I'm like, so it's fetal alcohol syndrome, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what's the symptoms of that? Like, the symptoms of that are what? Like,
basically, like, because that's something that you get when you're in the womb, right? So parent clearly was drinking alcohol while pregnant, and so not even parent, mom was drinking alcohol while pregnant, and so now child has mental delays. That's all.
Okay, so she has mental delays, but I don't see how. I just don't see how that stops your bachelorette party. If you knew this about the person beforehand, because you were friends, right?
Well, she didn't know. She just found out.
But she knew her behavior.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she didn't know about the mental delays.
So if she didn't know, okay. Something about it is really weird. It's like it's giving
problems.
It's giving. You should know the friend that you're with, and you clearly didn't. And now you feel like because she has a mental delay, which I don't see how that affects the fun, anyways. You know how many people got mental health disorder?
Well, no, it's not about the mental delay. It's not this because she can't drink. It's only because she like announced it at the bachelorette party.
She feels like it stole her thunder.
Yeah, like she's just upset only because the attention.
Then that makes you even more the asshole, in my opinion. And like,
right? That's what I'm like, girl.
I was trying to understand how it was affecting in real time, and it feels like it's not.
It's not. That's
because y'all are still doing the same activities, right? So you're just mad because she said something?
Yeah, I guess she wanted her to. She said in the thing that she wanted her to wait until it was a better time, I guess. So she told her she couldn't be a bridesmaid anymore.
I'd be like, I'm not coming back.
Right? Oh, baby, I would
That's
not even be at the
weird.
wedding.
And I feel like if you're good friends, that should have been something you had disclosed already. I can't imagine that like a good friend of mine invited me to their wedding or an important event, and they didn't know that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I guess it didn't have to be announced at the wedding, but it's also like I'm just trying to figure out what it changes. It didn't change anything to me in my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I don't understand because I have no desire to like want to be married or have like a bachelorette party. I don't know, or like have that level of attention. You know.
That's true.
So, and my thing is like, can you not really reschedule?
And how is
like,
that? I'm trying to figure out how that's upstaging anybody. Because I'm like,
that's
if
what I'm
anything,
saying.
is like I feel
I'm
pity
really
for
confused.
you, but like that's
Yeah,
it.
and I guess that's what she was jealous of. Like people were like felt pity for her, and like felt bad. And
It's
so
like two
she
things can happen
wanted
at the same time.
to.
You can feel pity for somebody and
Yeah,
still like celebrate somebody's wedding in the same like breath.
exactly. I don't know. I
This
think
was petty,
I agree. I think
ignorant.
OP
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's already like, and homegirl is clearly going through a rough time. You know. So, anyways, that person
Yeah,
asshole. Yeah, definitely the asshole. Even though it's her wedding, like you can decide who you do and do not want to invite, but like the reasoning is very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, this one is titled, If You Know Someone is Being Cheated On, Would You Tell Them? Female 22, male 25. I accidentally overheard my boyfriend talking about his brother's side piece. I know his brother and his girlfriend. They've been together for a while. I'm just coming into the picture as of last year. Overhearing this has really put me in a tough position. I'm usually the type of girl to tell the girl if this is happening because I would want to know if it was my man cheating on me. But I'm in such a tough position because it's pertaining to my boyfriend's family. I told him that what his brother is doing is wrong and messed up. He just told me to stay out of it and mind my business. I know if I told her, it would cause a lot of chaos. I just feel really bad for her and I'm torn about it. This also makes me question my boyfriend's integrity because even though it's family, to condone cheating on a loyal partner is disgusting to me. So this one's not an asshole one. It's just like, get off my chest.
I was gonna say, I don't really see how you're the asshole, but I mean, those are tough situations. But I do feel like, I mean, the asshole is the brother for cheating. Like, he's the asshole.
Guys.
I
So would you
personally, I would
tell
want
the
somebody to tell
person,
me.
or-
I personally want somebody to tell me.
I would tell the person.
I
for sure.
think that's probably the best course of action. I don't think you got to like sit down and like make this whole thing, but be like, look, sis.
Yeah, I think
Like,
she,
you know what I mean?
deserves the honesty, and then she can make whatever decision she needs to make from there, right? Do I want to be the one to tell her? That's where the hard part comes in, because I don't want to be the one to tell you. For one, because obviously that's going to stir problems in even her own relationship. But it seems like her boyfriend is condoning it. So if you're supporting my guy like that, baby, I'm probably breaking up.
I was going to say, honestly, I see both these relationships going downhill quickly because there's like, they're trying to protect the cheater here. Both, they're trying to protect the brother, and the rest of the family trying to protect the guy who's cheating. And it's like, why would you as a sibling be like okay with that?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I would probably give you blackmail my fucking sister or brother. I'd be like, you have a fucking week where I'm telling them, period. Okay, so OP actually responded, which is the person who wrote the post. But she responded to a comment. So I'm going to read the little comment thread. Yes, I would tell them. I know that if I kept such information to myself while knowing the people involved perfectly well, I would end up resenting it terribly and would consider myself complicit in the cheating affair by knowing it and doing nothing about it to the person who got cheated on. This is OP. Thanks, everyone. I'm definitely not comfortable, and I've tried to forget about it, but I just can't. He tried to justify the cheating, I'm assuming her boyfriend, before. He even told me that he cheated before, and she found out. She was upset at first, but it apparently she was okay with it now because he explained it. It's a man need, and it doesn't diminish his connection to her.
Hey, repeat that part again, please.
So this is the brother to the girlfriend, I guess. The brother says that his girlfriend was upset at first when she first found out he was cheating the first time, but it is apparently okay with it now because he explained that it's a man's need and that it doesn't diminish his connection to her.
I can't stand people who try to explain away cheating.
Yeah.
I really cannot stand it. I'm like,
so.
And then try to be, she's cool with it.
Explain cheating.
Like you're a scum. I don't know what to tell you.
Honestly, and my thing is like, if you're okay with cheating and it's a man's thing, then it can also be a woman's thing. I'm gonna be cheating on YouTube, Mr. Sir. The only way this is working is if we're both fucking cheating. Period. And it doesn't work like that. So no, sir, absolutely not. That should be a red fucking flag. Why the fuck would you stay? Girl.
She stayed in that.
She stayed. She said he was apparently okay with it because he explained that it's a man thing. And it doesn't.
This is some white trash stuff.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Okay, it continues. So as fucked up as it is, I believe it for a bit. It was just the other day that I found that it isn't true. He lied, so I wouldn't say anything. So I've even more turned and questioned my partner a lot more now. So the partner lied and said that the person thought it was okay, I guess. I don't know. It continues. I hope you won't suffer. This is the person who wrote the original comment. I hope you won't suffer from the situation, that a solution will be found. Although it means confronting your boyfriend about his questionable morals, his lightness towards the fact cheating would eat up inside. Cheating has nothing to do with men's needs because it's fake misogynistic excuses. OP says, I agree 100% to say it's just a need. To have 100... I agree 100% to say it's just a need men have. It's pretty fucked. I told him at the time that if he can do that, then I should be able to theoretically. He literally said ill because it's so much different for me as a woman if I do the exact same thing. It just sounds like a bad situation.
I don't understand. Something I never understood about cheaters is like, why are they okay being hypersexualized? Like, why are you okay with the idea that you have no sexual discipline?
I think I just don't get it, and the only thing I can think of is like they like the benefits of it, and the thing is women also buy it. Maybe like, is that why? Like, if somebody was really buying that?
I don't. These things are really hard for me to understand because I just feel like I have such a level of like self-respect that I just cannot. I don't know. I don't know how you get to that place. I don't know. Because to me, the thing would be to do is call off the relationship that you have already, and then go with whoever you want to want to be with. And the issue is they don't really want to be with people. They want their cake and to eat it too, and it's like, then stop making commitments to people.
Right? Like, go
and
be single.
The reason they make commitments is because there's a benefit to having commitments. But if you don't make commitments, then you can go frou-la-la with everyone. But they want the benefits of having a commitment. You can't have both. You can't.
Facts. Yeah, I don't get that. Because it sounds like you want to be single, but didn't you want to bring me down with you? Because I just don't get it. Like,
he doesn't want to be single. He wants the security of one relationship and to be able to go and still sleep around with other people as if he is single. He wants both. He doesn't want to just be single.
So they just want a cake to eat it.
Because there is a benefit to having a consistent woman, right? In your life for men. Somewhere to live, somewhere to... Yeah. It's like, there's these benefits to it. Someone always there, right? Versus, being single, then he is totally responsible for himself, which is actually what he doesn't want. So he wants his cake and to eat it too. And unfortunately, she's allowing him to have his cake.
Yeah, it's really disgusting. I'm very disappointed. I really hope both of I really think the solution in this should be the girl who wrote this, so OP, should break up with her boyfriend because her boyfriend is clearly problematic. And I think she should tell the other girl when she breaks up with her boyfriend, because her boyfriend clearly adopts these ideology and is lying to protect his brother to the point of like ruining their relationship. I don't really think you're going to be able to go far. I just don't think it's going to... It sounds like he's probably cheating on you too, babes.
I don't understand cheating.
Or he's not above it. I don't
understand cheating. It's like one of the most cowardly things you can do.
It's very easy. Honestly. And it could be also simple,
really could.
You know? It really could. Like, just break up with a person you do not want to be with.
They don't want to. They want to have both.
Yeah.
People who cheat weird me out. I'm not joking.
Facts.
Obviously, we're anti-cheater over here, these parts, but...
Clearly.
Yeah. Because I think if you're going to cheat, if you're going to be strong enough, bold enough to go and seek someone outside of your relationship that you've already committed to, because that's a bold move. If you're going to be bold enough to do that,
Facts.
You need to be bold enough to go be single on your own and face the consequences of it. Don't backtrack.
Exactly. Yeah. And don't bring me down with you. Like,
so you're not strong. You're a coward. That's what you are. Because you're not willing to take all of the consequences on with that.
Truly disgusting.
And I think that women who take them back after cheating, I think, I'm not going to say it's worse than cheating, but I think that you're an enabler at that point. Yeah.
And I think also too, it shows people what they're allowed to do to you or treat you like, and what you are willing to accept. So I don't think there's a way personally that you can be in the same relationship after cheating. Just
they've already shown their disrespect for you.
That trust is.
They don't value.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. And I feel like they would try it again because they know they've already gotten away with it one time. So next time they're just going to try to conceal it more.
I think there's no redeeming a cheater. I think you made your stance clear.
I do think cheaters can redeem themselves, but I think it has to be somebody they're willing to redeem themselves for. So it would have to be a new relationship. I don't think in the same relationship it would ever work.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like they don't redeem themselves, in my opinion, with the same person they cheated on. Now you can find Jesus. Everybody can find Jesus, and like, well,
that can also be a front.
Well, I think it had to be just Jesus, but people can unlock their better self, and so they can do that and then evolve for somebody else. But I don't think going back to the same person you did that to is like, to me, you're exploiting at that point.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. All right. This one is called, Am I the asshole for not packing my brother's luggage and letting him get arrested? Oh, goodness. Okay.
I feel like drugs are coming.
Parents and brother. I don't know. Let's see. Okay. My parents and brother seem to consider me his servant since he was born. Don't know why, though. It's not cultural. We are as homegrown as can be. He's 5 years younger than me and has always been spoiled. Whatever. I got out and got my education. Thanks to my dual citizenship, I was able to get a job in Vancouver, Canada, in the film industry, and I like to think I'm doing well. I met my boyfriend here, and we will see where that goes. My parents brought my brother up to visit me last week. My brother is on his gap year, and my parents wanted to take him skiing up here. They stayed with me for a couple of days on their way home. It was great to see them, and even though they tried to turn me into his maid again. On their way home, he tried to tell me to pack his bag for him. I politely told him to get fucked. I was at my parents' house, and I didn't have to follow his rules. He got angry and just crammed his stuff in his bag. Fun fact about cannabis in Canada. You were right, Courtney. Each province sets their age limit for use. Next door in Alberta, you can buy alcohol and weed at 18. In my province, it's 19. There are also signs all over the airport that say not to travel with that over the border. even if it is legal in your state. Guess what he had in his luggage? Guess who got in trouble for not being careful about his luggage? My parents are mad at me because I was so irresponsible to let him pack that in his luggage. My brother thinks I'm an asshole for not packing his luggage, and I actually feel quite badly about the idiot getting in trouble. He is a spoiled little jerk, but I do love him. And if he had asked me nicely, I would have helped him pack and reminded him of the law.
This is classic how parents raise girls versus boys. Classic.
Oh yeah.
And we're always talking about like the differences, gender differences here, but this is why, if you're listening, all children have to be raised to be responsible and accountable for themselves. Not that all children need to be raised exactly the same, because they're individuals, but children have to be raised to be responsible for themselves as people. Because clearly the parents made who the responsible adult and who the irresponsible adult. You're old enough to get on a plane by yourself to go to a ski trip, right? But you're not old enough
and make the choice to bring cannabis,
but you're not old enough to pack your bag. Absolutely. I wish, this is wild to me because I'm like, this would not fly at the Geiger household. I wish one of us would.
You know though, I wonder if mom had any like male siblings or anything like that, would it have changed? Like, did I
possibly?
Because I feel like, unfortunately, mom has some questionable differences between like males and females when it comes to like parenting. Like I don't know if mom would have been like a strong male child mom, because I think they would have got away with murder.
That's true.
Like, it's a godsend. I think we are girls.
Actually, I thought about that the other day, and I think that's actually probably true.
Yeah. And then on top of like sperm donor being who they are, it's like, ugh, we
would have been in jail or something.
The success could have been slim.
Following that lead.
Yeah. The success rate would have been low.
I think the idea of these parents coddling their boys and then putting,
it's disgusting.
It's incestuous too, because you're putting the responsibility on his sister, his blood relative who owes him nothing.
Not his child.
She's not responsible for him in any way. And they're adults.
Yeah, mind you, she's in her own house. She's in her own home now. You know,
and she's working and she has her own boyfriend and all that, right? If she is, you're putting the responsibility of taking care of him and making sure, watching out for him, making sure he doesn't bring alcohol or do something illegal, grossly illegal. Not even like, oh, okay, I accidentally brought like a pocket knife I didn't know I was supposed to have, or like whatever, like something.
Right.
Everybody knows you don't get on a plane with drugs and alcohol. Okay.
Facts. Yeah, and where's the level? Like, why are you guys not teaching this child or this guy accountability? Like, you are accountable for your own actions. He was obviously smart enough to go get the cannabis, right? Like, and so now it's somebody else's responsibility because they didn't pack the bag and put it up for you or tell you not to pack it.
And that makes me think.
And the way that she feels guilty about it too, or feels bad for him, is even more of a mind fuck, because she should not feel guilty for that.
Choice that he made.
The decision that he made solely by himself.
And the other thing too is like even if she would have packed his bag, if she didn't know it was in there, he could have slipped it in there regardless.
Exactly, and that still would have been his fault. I just think
they want somebody to blame, but their own child, their own lack of parenting for that child.
Right? Yeah, and themselves.
Because I'm like, because now he's getting in trouble with the law, disgusting. And now they're really gonna have to go get him out of jail.
As he should be, honestly.
You know what I mean?
As he freaking should be. That probably teach him more than his parents.
Exactly.
So.
And then the other thing that makes me think too is, you think he's gonna be the type of person who's gonna have successful relationships with women in his life if he's doing this to his sister? He's already you're like, you think he's going to be the type of person to have successful relationships with other women in his life? If he's doing this to his sister, if he already sees women as take care of me.
Yeah. For sure. I agree with that. I could imagine him.
That's why he's not in one. Because who's dealing with that?
Yeah, probably not.
I mean, think about because he's roughly in our age range, right? If he's roughly in
it doesn't have age.
He might be probably younger. Who's dealing with that? You're literally dropping your son off to another woman to take care of him. That's what it would feel like.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I feel like a
Yeah,
babysitting
especially for somebody who can't recognize you don't bring alcohol across the border. Like, that's what the level we're working on, working with.
Yeah, or like cannabis when
Yeah,
you see the signs. Or I feel like that's common knowledge. Like, you just don't travel with those things unless you want to
exactly.
run that risk.
And then also look at how far the progress his sister has made in her life versus the progress he's made in his life. Two different levels of issues here. You know?
Yeah, and it's really on the brother and the parents. It has really nothing to do with sister. Sister's not the asshole.
It's very concerning, to be perfectly honest. And then,
You know what's even more concerning? That this is not
oh
like a
no,
rarity.
no,
This
it's
is
so common. People coddle the hell out
It's
of their
so
sons, and then be like, "Why don't you date so and so?" What? So and so is a toddler.
Like, why would I? Seriously, literally.
Can't properly express an emotion. Doesn't understand what partnership is.
And no woman
no
wants
accountability
to be with a freaking like babysit
exactly.
a child for a relationship.
And then they try to be like, well, just find a good girl or find a bubble. Like, who is dealing with that? You have not created somebody who is viable on the dating market. You haven't. Sorry. And like, parents got to I think parents somewhat need to take responsibility for this whole like single lonely man epidemic. Is because truth is not that there's a lack of like people out there. Is if your child is incapable of meeting basic skills, there's an issue with the parenting there. Sorry. I don't care how you cut that.
Seriously.
You know what I mean?
I feel like parents just like, oh my God, like, I understand you do the best that you can. Okay, I hear that. But you really do have to take accountability for what worked and what failed in your parenting and why your child is the way they are. That is no one else's problem but yours.
Because, like, I mean, girls, we're practically thrown out of the damn nest at like 16, 17 years old. Like, we're figuring stuff out, you know what I mean? And having to make like adult decisions. So I couldn't imagine calling, my mother to be like, oh, by the way, I got in trouble because I brought alcohol across the border. She'd be like, what the hell did you put alcohol in your bag for?
Right? The way my mom would have been like,
I don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't,
you never.
You know what I mean? Like, it's very, but we've always had to take accountability for ourselves. There's no blaming, That's just, it's bizarre to me. It's disgusting and bizarre because I'm like, he's also the type of person who goes around terrorizing or doing other things to other people because he does not have accountability and control of himself. You know what I mean? Like, you truly hate to see it.
Seriously. I feel that. Okay, let's see what other ones we can get into. Let's see this one. Okay, this one is a long one, so this will probably wrap up our episode. And there are quite a bit of like updates, so that's kind of cool. All right. I like this one is also good because we can kind of like say things from our experience with something similar, probably. This one's titled, My Ex Divorced Me and Now Wants to Be Together After 4 years. Edit. There's an update post on my profile. Cool. Edit 2. My daughter made her own post about the divorce under the person's name. So we have original post, the daughter post, and then we have another post from, I think, the original poster. Throwaway since I don't want to be linked back to my main account. I'm 46-year-old female and my ex-husband is 45. We were college sweethearts and married at 26. Right before we got married, I gave birth to a beautiful daughter who's now 21 years old. I love both of them dearly, and we've been a happy family for about 16 years before everything went down. Our only problem was my ex's mother. She always had a strong dislike for me. She never thought I was good enough for her baby boy. Problem. We had many fights, and my ex cut contact with her after the wedding when she tried wearing white to it. We had many encounters with her years after that, sending us gifts for my daughter and purposely trying to get us to contact her again to see her outside of our house. 4 years ago, I got home from work to see my ex and his mom together on the couch. My ex was on the verge of tears, yelling and calling me a cheater. I tried to explain I didn't, but his mother supposedly had proof, saying she saw me with another man in a restaurant together. I'm very faithful and loyal, but he refused to hear me out. We got into a big argument before he packed up and left to stay with his mother. When my daughter got home from a friend's house, she too started to blame me when she found out from her dad. She went to live with her dad while he sent out divorce papers. It took about a year before it was finalized. He got custody of her, and I was granted visitation rights, but she never wanted to see me. It took a long time to move on. I sought therapy and fell into a huge depression. I knew my ex's mother made it up to tear us apart. I can't believe he listened to her so carelessly. I don't blame my daughter, but it still hurts. I moved out of the house to allow my ex and my daughter to live there. I ended up moving to a small apartment. It's been 4 years, and I started to finally be happy again. I made new friends. We had so much fun, and I got a promotion at work. I still miss my family, my daughter, but I couldn't do anything about it. 2 days ago, I think it's supposed to say just 2 days ago, my daughter called me. It's been 4 years since I've last seen or heard from her. She said that her grandmother admitted to lying. She said that my ex got a new girlfriend and his mother was furious, claiming he should have won after all the trouble she did to get rid of me. He shouldn't have one. So he shouldn't have a girlfriend after all the trouble she did to get rid of his wife. They got into a heated fight before he kicked his mom out. I nearly wanted to cry. I thought she would never admit it, and now I'm hearing my daughter. She asked to meet up and apologized so many times. I told her we could meet tomorrow. Yesterday I met her at a restaurant and she brought along my ex, something she never mentioned, nor have I agreed upon. He was apologizing, saying how much he missed me and that he dumped his girlfriend. He wanted us to be together. I excused myself and left from there. I got back home to lots of calls from my daughter and text messages from her. She wanted us to talk and she called me an asshole for leaving. I told her I wasn't comfortable and that she needed to understand. I had to mute my phone and put it down for a bit. I haven't responded yet and I'm not sure what to do. I love her, but I can't talk to her with him there. Not yet anyways. It feels so fast. I wanted to do it one-on-one. I'm deeply hurt and crying as I'm typing this. I don't know what to do. Okay, over there.
That's a mess, but
right? The thing is, mother-in-laws are really that petty.
I
really
can see that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's really tragic, and it's like the fact that he went no contact with his mom and then allowed her back in his space, and that's what she does. Let alone, why would you believe her if you literally went no contact?
I'm telling you, something like miserable old ladies get to me. I'm like, you live that long, and you're miserable.
The worst things on earth,
and really feel like you got to go around and like make hell for younger people,
everybody else. Yeah, because your child doesn't want to be your fake man. Like, please, lady, please. It's really disgusting, really, because essentially what she wants is her child to be something to her and no one else. So you want this to be your fake boyfriend.
I'm like, emotional incest.
That's very incestuous.
I'm like, I don't know who to blame more. I guess I blame the mom more because I'm like, or the parent more, the adult in the situation. Because I'm like, you've honestly robbed even your child of the ability to have
happiness,
functioning adult relationships because you want them to be something to you. It's weird.
Yeah. It's very, very weird. Instead of just going and finding your own friends, you know? Like, why not go do that? I don't understand.
It's so weird. And then the wife, I think she's just, they're always collateral damage, because she ruined a relationship for her son, basically, and the child and her grandchild, and by lying, and now he's asking for this person back in his life because he basically chose his mom over this woman in the first place,
right?
I think it's also on the son to be more aware. Like, you got to be aware of your mother.
I think it's more on him. Like, he clearly went no contact for a reason, and then you believed her. wild.
I think you got to be aware of your relationship with your parent as a functioning adult, even if it's a non-incestuous relationship.
so
like, you need to be aware of your parent, their behavior, and how they have affected you.
I agree with that. I totally agree. Okay, so there's a little bit of an update to that particular initial post. It says, I did not expect this post to blow up. I appreciate the love and support. However, I did make it clear with my daughter's custody. Her opinion mattered in court since she was 17 during the divorce. Although the divorce was about me allegedly cheating, my ex and I agreed to keep that apart from the actual divorce proceedings, splitting what we needed to split and letting our daughter choose who she wants to be with. She wanted to live with her dad, and I agreed. She was strongly adamant about not seeing me, so I allowed my ex to have full custody, leaving me with visitation. Not only that, I needed to find an apartment. I had to move out of the house. I was living off couch to couch in my relatives' homes. I didn't have space for me, and my ex mentioned it in court. It was the main reason why she was granted to stay with her father. I was under stress, and I was not mentally well. I signed off my rights. I looked like a mess in court, too. There was also a lot more going on during this time. So, wife was just having it. Like, she was just having it. Like, having a time, truly. For no reason, literally no reason.
So the daughter, can you explain that one more time, what the daughter was doing?
One more time?
Like, what
did you say?
What she said that the daughter was like trying to give.
Oh, she was just explaining custody. Because they got divorced when the daughter was 17, so basically she was allowed to choose where she went, and the wife initially was going from couch to couch on her relatives' on her relatives' houses or whatever, and so she didn't have a stable place for the child to be, and so that's why she ended up getting custody, or the dad ended up getting custody of the child. So, okay, there's more updates. Let's see. This is the daughter's update, or I guess like the daughter's perspective of it, right? This one's called, My Mom Posted About Her Divorce with Dad Because of Her Mom. I'm their daughter. Edit. For the love of God, this is not my account. It didn't even belong to me. I'm not using my actual one for obvious reasons. My mom recently made 2 posts about our family under the title, My Ex Divorced Me, and Now He Wants to Be Together After 4 years. I'm their 21-year-old daughter, and I'm going to explain my side of things. Yes, I have been given permission for my mom to post this. There were a lot of things she neglected to say on her part. This is how I interpreted what happened on my side, since y'all are quick to blame. Uh, 5 years ago, I was 16. My dad called me. He said he was at his mom's house and that I needed to pack my things so he could pick me up. He told me that my mom had cheated on him and now he was going to divorce her. So I did exactly as I was told. I was really mad at my mom for doing such a thing. I thought they were inseparable. I was surprised. I thought they loved each other, and when mom was accused of cheating, I resented her. I yelled at her. I called her really hurtful things that I regret saying. I left to stay with dad. The entire time I refused to talk to my mom during the divorce. I really hated her. I truly did. During that time, I was with my dad and my grandma. I told her a couple of times, and my mom openly hated on me. I met her a couple of times. My mom openly hated on her. I didn't know why. She seemed sweet and supportive, helping my dad get through. She bought me presents and let me live under her roof. She was a stereotypical loving grandma. Mom ended up moving out so we could have the place back. In court, I favored my dad's side and it was approved. I refused to contact my mom. It was like she didn't even try to fight to be with me. I was still really angry at her. Dad was crying on some days. He was really stressed and saddened. She did too, but I thought it was the guilt of being caught and now having nowhere to go, being divorced as a consequence. There was a few times where I wanted to call her, shout at her, hate her. I didn't. For the next 4 years, it was me, Dad, and Grandma who occasionally visited. She showered me with gifts, always expressing how she finally got to meet her grandbaby. She spoiled me. Dad was still sad for like 3 years before meeting another woman, and they started dating. That's when everything turned upside down. him and Grandma would start getting into fights about the new girlfriend. She would threaten to harm himself and call him a pathetic excuse for her son. She knocked stuff over and constantly broke things when she didn't get what she wanted. She even threatened to hurt me sometimes and steal things away from me. Dad hardly ever brought his girlfriend over because of her. Grandma kept visiting almost daily. She was super obsessed over Dad and new girl. Now repeat that for 5 months straight until she snapped. Another fight, then she confessed. I was in another room when she screamed about how she did everything to get Mom away from him so she could have him all to herself, and now the new girlfriend is stealing him away. That's when I decided to call Mom to tell her what happened. I was scared. The next day we agreed to meet at a restaurant. I told Dad about it afterwards, and he insisted on coming with me. I wasn't sure at first, but he convinced me to let him come. He was desperate and even broke up with his girlfriend over the phone, so I brought him with. I didn't tell Mom, and when she came...
Don't read it all. There's like a bunch of pages. I was gonna say, maybe we shouldn't read the whole thing, because like there's like a bunch of pages of this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Basically, Mom meets with the dad. She ends up leaving. And, end up leaving. Dad's like crying and things like that. Yeah, there's a bunch of pages of this one. Anyways, we could just talk about this one now. At this point. They do have some updates, whatever, but we can possibly.
It's just a lot of pages.
Reading it.
It's a lot of pages.
Yeah, it's a lot of reading. A lot.
This is. It starts and stops with Grandma for me, because honestly, why would she kind of love bombing the freaking granddaughter? That's what the showering with the gifts and being very like whatever. It's like she really cannot stand to see a woman in her son's life.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure. It's definitely an incestuous. And then for her to admit that, like, it's wild. So, no, I mean, not that it's a shocker, because we kind of already knew that, I feel, without her ever saying anything. But it is, like, reaffirming that, like, this is a very sick relationship. And if she does not getting what she wants by having her son do what she wants him to do, she's not going to ever be content. But you know what's so sad? At some point, the dad, I guess, eventually tries to ask for the mom to like get back in a relationship with him, and like they can take it slow, kind of thing. The audacity, because when she gave you the opportunity to hear her out and to kind of defend her case because she didn't cheat, you were quick to blow her off and didn't want to hear anything she said. And so, no, sir,
I agree,
absolutely not.
Because the mom was never cheating, right? Correct.
Not. No, she never cheated. Apparently, the grandma like lied and said it was like one of her friends or whatever or somebody that she knew. She like paid somebody $400 to do it. Apparently, let me go back to the thing.
What a miserable bitch.
Yeah, she paid someone $500 to tell Dad his wife was cheating on her with him.
I'm sorry. There is no amount of misery. I people who go out of their way to make, like, she really went out of her way to make a situation,
their life
to create a situation. I don't understand that. I'm like, do you not have anything else going on in your life? Nothing else. You don't have a flower to plant, or like groceries to go get,
anything,
a sweater to knit, anything,
literally anything.
Like, that is so.
It's truly just like pathetic.
Like, just because you don't want to let your son go, and I'm like, okay, are you like what?
Why are you obsessed with him? Go find you a friend.
Find you a friend. Or like be okay with yourself. Like, that's just, it's so weird to me. It's so bizarre to me. And I think that's one of the most pathetic places you can get to in your life as a woman, I think, is if you really cannot let your child go and be great.
Seriously. Yeah. At some point, hands are off. You know what I mean? As far as a parent is concerned, you just have to let the kid figure it out. There's a thing that Tabitha Brown said, and she was saying, like, basically you, like, give them, you are raising them to give them the tools to go out and do their own thing, but you are not raising them for you, or like they should have been living you shouldn't be living vicariously through them. And they have their own personalities, wants, desires, and different things like that. So you just have to respect it as a parent and hope that what you taught them tool-wise is going to help them through that life journey of figuring everything else out.
I agree. I think some people have a really effed up idea of what a what your relationship as a parent should be to your child. You know, it's like you're raising them to be people for themselves, not to be something for you.
Truly disgusting. Yeah, concerning.
That's really, unfortunately, we've known multiple people like this who will not.
Oh yeah.
The mother is just as involved, or the parent is just as involved in making their child dependent.
100%. Yeah, it's very though. It's very.
It's a form of like stunted growth. You know, and I, as the son, I would be very angry at my mother. Very, very angry. I would be like, 100%. You don't. Well, first off, he can always set a boundary too. Now he could have very well set a boundary and be like, you don't come over and talk to me and mine like that. Sorry. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
I think so. A lot of people need to learn to set boundaries with their parents, and that might mean making a hard decision. Like, okay, maybe you do get cut off from mom and dad, or maybe you do have to do X, Y, Z. You know what I mean, for yourself. But I just think that, you know, he allowed his mother to dictate major decisions in his life. I like, you know, it's hard to be on your own. I'm not saying it's easy to be on your own, but I would rather struggle to figure out how I'm gonna make this payment, how I'm gonna make this happen, rather than have my parent come in and make every decision and then make decisions that are not beneficial to me as an adult. Because if I was living the life that my mother or my father set out for me, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now. And I would be miserable.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and that's no shade to them, but they don't see for me what I see for myself. You know what I mean? And that's just the truth. You know?
Very
So
true.
I think those are the hard decisions that you got to make. And I just think humans are the only animals who do this, because birds kick their babies out the nest 5-6 days old. Fly. You got to go. You know what I mean? And it's like,
Facts,
you know, and I'm not saying kick your kids out prematurely, but like, you got to know where your relationship lies with your child at a certain point. You know what I mean?
Facts.
And I just think so too many parents have allowed, like, I want to know where it comes from, because there's so many people do this. It's a cultural thing. It's got to be.
Oh, for sure. I don't even know if it's cultural. I think it's just like, because women don't have that level of, like, I guess, attention and attentiveness that they expect it from their sons. So they like raise their sons to be what they like, the lacking that they have in their own lives, you know? So really it's like they're coming from like a deficit.
Do you think it's possible for someone to have a partner and still be emotionally incestuous with their son?
Oh yeah. Especially if your partner's not providing you what you think you deserve or like desire. 100%.
I started, little fun fact here. I started writing a new script recently. I'm not going to say too much about it, but one of the characters I was really interested in was the emotionally incestuous relationship between mothers and sons. So I started kind of writing that into this story. And it's been interesting just to like play around with, like, it bothers me as I'm writing it because I'm like, this is so effed up. But it's also like, it has to be there to kind of get at the idea of like the uncomfortableness of these relationships. You know what I mean? And to see how they are detrimental not only to the child, but it's like coming from some sort of lack from the parent, you know?
Oh, for sure.
So yeah, it's just, I don't know. I mean, sometimes I do get like, oh damn, I wish I had parental help with something, or like it would be nice. But
yeah, but
the others, the strings that come with it are not worth it. And honestly, I think it's probably best as a parent at some point to just cold hard. You got to figure it out on your own. I can't do this for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I think too there's a level of appreciation that you get when you just have to like figure it out, you know? So but yeah, so that's our episode for today. Thank you guys for listening in to us reading and reacting to Reddit posts. We hope that you enjoyed. Let us know what you think about the ones that we read or the stories that we read, your opinions, thoughts, comments, and concerns, and all those fun things. And we will see you guys in the next one.
Bye, everybody.